Howdy, and welcome to our first broadcast of a brand new season. Once again this year, the Texas Aggie Band Show remains the nation's only broadcast that features a collegiate marching band, and it's the famed Fighting Texas Aggie Band from Texas A&M University. Part of the Corps of Cadets, the Aggie Band is stepping out in its 121st season, and that makes it the oldest college band in the state of Texas. Each week, we'll bring you complete coverage of the Aggie Band's drill, both away, such as here at NRG Stadium, and home at Kyle Field. We'll also bring you feature stories about the people and places that make Texas A&M such a unique educational experience. And now, on behalf of our corporate broadcast sponsors, BJ's Restaurant and Brewhouse, as we start this, our third decade of broadcast and our 21st consecutive season, this is the Texas Aggie Band Show. We begin each broadcast with our weekly cadet report, and we actually taped it this week before we left campus for the game here at NRG Stadium.
This week, our focus is going to be on the commanding officers for the 6 outfits, talking about their outfits respectively, who make up the members of the A&M senior class of 2016. We asked them to speak about their respective outfits and the return to the old command structure with an infantry and artillery band.
My outfit goals for this year include striving towards better academics, which is something that everybody at A&M should focus on. I mean, we're here to get a degree, not just major in the Corps of Cadets. But I also hope that everybody in my outfit develop professionally and become well-rounded and well-educated leaders of character.
Originally I thought it would be this real intimidating experience, always worried about messing up, and everyone's been doing so well this year that everything's just kind of been falling into place. Like the level of performance that we're already achieving, just, practicing our fundamentals this year has just been incredible. So it's made having to lead from the front a much simpler task, and everything just kind of falls into place and just feels real nice.
The Auburn game last year was one of the most exciting games. Our halftime drill was also one of the best drills we did that year. It was pretty technical, and it took a lot of work from someone that had already been doing Aggie Band drills for 2 years. The game came down to the last minute, and if it wasn't for the turnover margin, we would have lost, but we ended up coming back and beating one of the best teams in the nation, so that was one of the most exciting games last year.
So to set the standard and try to keep pushing for higher standards, what we do, kind of what I do as a CO and what I tell my fellow peers in my battery and my outfit, what we do is we just try to continue to make sure that we're striving for excellence in both PT and grades. And how we do that is we keep each other in check. If one of us is falling behind, we're not just going to let that happen. We all kind of step up and be like, hey, we can really do better in this area. Let's pull together as a group and a collective group that wants to better ourselves so that we can be that example for the underclassmen. So that's what we try to do, is just to keep each other accountable and continue to pushing for better grades, better academics, better PT, and just striving to better ourselves so that we can be the leaders, and they can look up to us and say, they're squared away, they're doing their things that they need to do. We want to push that as well.
When I introduced myself to my freshmen, I told them my expectations, and same expectations my parents had of me growing up, which is do your best. I can't ask anything more of you. So after every activity, I'm asking them, did you do your best? If the answer is yes, then that's all I can ask. The challenge on the drill field is getting the freshmen to forget everything they knew in high school and switch to military-style marching that we know and love here at Texas A&M. We march 6 to 5, and as an upperclassman, the best thing we can do to teach them is be a perfect example. I'll never forget my first step on Kyle Field, and that's what we're telling the freshmen is stick it out. Nothing else is going to matter once you take that first step. So in prepping them is just making sure they're focused, making sure they're learning the drill, and not thinking about anything else.
This year, our biggest challenge will be continuing the success of the outfit. It was reinstated just 2 years ago, so continuing with the upward trend of creating a successful outfit will be a minor challenge, but just creating an environment where everyone can be successful and their leadership development and personal development will be our biggest challenge.
Thanks to cadets who joined us this week to talk about the senior class of 2016. At this time, we bring you our trivia question for the week, and it's brought to you by our sponsors, the Texas Aggie Corps Cadets Association. The trivia question is on the screen this week as we pay tribute to 20 seasons of broadcast for the Texas Aggie Band Show. We'll have the correct answer for you at the end of this broadcast. The 2015-2016 academic year promises to be an excellent one for the students at Texas A&M, and more importantly for their beloved Fighting Texas Aggie football team as they enter their 4th year in the Southeastern Conference. But for the cadets in the Fighting Texas Aggie Band, this marks an unusual time in their lives as they get ready to step out for the first time as cadets, following in the footsteps of many of those who went before them. One of the unique bonds that forms with any senior class in the Aggie Band is that with their incoming freshman class. This bond begins with the outfit leadership as they welcome the new freshmen to the Corps Cadets. These new cadets, some 900 strong this year, represent the largest incoming class in 4 decades. Known as Fish in their first year, and by the class moniker of 2019, these young men and women reported to campus for a special week of training known as FOW. It's an acronym for Fish Orientation Week. These freshman cadets, beside having to learn the cadet lifestyle, have also been bombarded with the first week of classes and just finding their way around to their academic institution. But they also had a daunting task this week as they started to learn the drill and step out for the first time as the Fighting Texas Aggie Band performs here tonight before 70,000 fans in NRG Stadium.
One thing that's definitely interesting about, the Fish class in general, especially outfit by outfit, we're all thrown together. We don't know each other. It just brings a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds closer together. I mean, there's people in my outfit from all sorts of, walks of life, different experiences. So it's just really interesting to hear other people's point of view, but then realize that we all have a common goal in mind, and that is to, first of all, survive FOW and Fish year in general, and just to succeed in Texas A&M and graduate from this great university.
Out of FOW, the best part was the last day for air day or air night. And basically that feeling that you have gone through all of FOW with your friends, you basically have created a lifetime connection with your friends, and you know that you all are there together. The biggest thing as far as adjustments I've had to make was probably waking up at 5 a.m. to do PT, physical training, and to go march on the band field at 6 a.m. before classes. That's definitely a change from high school.
So FOW was by far probably one of the hardest weeks I've ever experienced in my life. The biggest challenge of FOW and the Corps of Cadets by far has been the need for attention to detail in everything that I'm doing. And that by far has been the biggest challenge for me. I've never been a detail-oriented person, and I can already feel myself changing and becoming what they need me to be.
The best part of FOW was learning how to be a fish and getting to know all the traditions about the Corps. And the hardest part of FOW was learning how to be a fish and learning about all the traditions in the Corps.
Coming out of high school, you played the same music week after week, day after day. But in the Aggie Band, you change it up every week, so it's new learning different music and having to memorize it in just a few days. One of the most difficult things coming into the Aggie Band straight out of high school marching band is the marching technique. In high school, it was all high toes, 8 to 5 strides, and now it's just you're walking at a normal 6 to 5 stride.
The first week has been very interesting. It's been very different from what high school was and what I expected. My high school band marched just like the Aggie Band did. We marched 6 to 5, marched military style. So I would like to say I'm a little more adjusted to the style than others when I came in, but there was still a lot of things different. But I'm really excited to finally march in a drill.
Okay, so in high school, I was in both my marching band and in JROTC. So I was taught by Marines how to march. And I thought, oh yeah, I'd get out on the marching field and I know exactly what to do. I was wrong. Aggie Band, yes, they're military style, but with their own flavor. It's similar movements, same snap pop, but different execution. As long as you put your heart into it, that's all that matters, honestly.
I was very impressed by all the various publications of what the Aggie Band does and what the Corps of Cadets does. They gave presentations at our school, and I have several members from my band that joined the Aggie Band, and it just looked something like it was more significant than other band programs.
To adjust to the Corps Cadets, honestly, it hasn't been too bad for me. It's been a little bit of adjustment, been some hard times, especially through FOW. But, I pushed through, and I feel like it's going to be a great year.
Thanks to the freshman cadets who joined us this week. We wish them the best, and we'll check in with them during the semester to see how it was to march for the first time with the Aggie Band here at NRG Stadium and also at Kyle Field. In April of 2012, the Board of Regents of Texas A&M University, in association with the 12th Man Foundation, approved a renovation and enlargement of Kyle Field. In May of 2013, they approved the construction contract for the enlargement of Kyle Field, making it the third largest stadium in the nation, the largest in the Southeast Conference, and most importantly, the largest in the state of Texas. The Kyle Field renovation is almost done, and to say the last few months have been busy on campus would be an understatement. The total cost of Kyle Field redevelopment is over $400 million. 51% of that funding is coming from annual seat licenses, 27% funded by Kyle Field campaign gifts, 17% funded by Texas A&M students, and 5% is funded by local government agencies. The general contractors were required to complete this second phase for the 2015 season within an 8-month construction window so that Kyle Field could continue to host home football games during the 2015 football season. The work on Phase 2 that is rapidly wrapping up in preparation for the first home game versus Ball State University included demolition of the entire west side of the stadium, completing reconstruction of the west side. The construction contractors were required to complete the second phase for the 2015 season within an 8-month construction window so that Kyle Field could continue to host home football games during this 2015 football season. The work on Phase 2 that is now rapidly wrapping up in preparation for the first home game versus Ball State University included the demolition of the entire west side of the stadium and rebuilding it to today's configuration. The stadium renovation is almost complete, but even though the full stadium will be ready, Texas A&M is going to leave 12 seats open and empty at every game in memory of the 12 students who lost their lives in the Bond Farm Memorial collapse of 1999.
To march on the new Kyle Field that was just finished, especially as a Bugle Rank member this year, it's going to be honestly something that I can't even explain. The excitement that I have is just so great to actually, when I do experience it for the first time, it's going to be just an amazing experience because I used to play trumpet, and so I was always in the mid section of the band, but now being out there leading and, file 2, and to be able to experience that just is something I'm looking forward to and something that I really can't even imagine. So it's going to be an awesome experience.
What I'm looking forward to most about the newly renovated Kyle Field, being a senior, first boots on this new Kyle Field, is just the sound of everything I've heard. Is supposed to be a whole new level of dynamics and just the stadium roaring as we step onto the field and hearing everybody say the nationally famous Fighting Texas Aggie Band, as Colonel Brewer says the line, is something I've been waiting for years.
I can't imagine what the feeling is going to be like doing that, and I'm very excited for the opportunity to march out on Kyle Field in front of the whole band and lead the way as we go through all our maneuvers. It's just going to be amazing.
With 1 week to go, Texas A&M will be back at Kyle Field next week to take on Ball State University, and the grand reopening of Kyle Field after 2 years and over $400 million of improvements. The grand festivities start on Thursday and go all the way to Saturday night with kickoff in the evening at 6 p.m. And we'll be there when the Texas Aggie Band steps out with the next new performance.
Howdy, I'm Jason Porter from Thorndale, Texas, majoring in bioenvironmental sciences. On behalf of the senior class of 2016 and my buddies here in the bass section, here now is the halftime drill of the Fighting Texas Aggie Band at the Texas A&M University versus Arizona State football game at NRG Stadium.
you, Jessica Hoffman. She's going to be our cadet correspondent for this year. Jessica, give us our trivia question answer for this week.
And on your screen now is the answer to this week's trivia question brought to you by the Texas Aggie Corps of Cadets.
Thank you, Jessica. Next week, Texas A&M returns to Kyle Field as they open up the renovated facility after $400 million in 2 years. As Texas A&M takes on Ball State University, we'll be there to bring you complete coverage of the Fighting Texas Aggie Band as they step out with their second new drill of the year. We'll have 2 new stories about Texas A&M and our Weekly Cadet Report. And now, on behalf of our corporate sponsors, BJ's Restaurant and Brewhouse, as we celebrate our 3rd decade of broadcast and our 21st consecutive season, this has been the Texas Aggie Band Show.